Hey everybody, welcome to Running Deep with Shotty and Ramius. I am one of your hosts, Shotty. Ramius on the other end.
Yeah, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you're listening. Welcome back.
Hope everybody had a great, fine, and wonderful Thanksgiving. Hopefully you got a chance to spend time with family, friends, or just hang out and just be thankful, because that's what Thanksgiving's all about, being thankful. But with that being said, we're thankful for you. If it wasn't for you folks, we'd just be two guys talking to each other for absolutely no reason at all. We're doing this for you guys. So with that being said, Ramius, how was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving went well, spent some time with the family, able to smoke a turkey.
Nice.
Had a new experience. So, a little side note, I am very much a fan of watching barbecue pitmasters. And so, took a few things I learned on there and applied it to the smoked turkey. To include injection with orange juice and cranberry juice, and had about the juiciest turkey I've made. So,
Nice. I actually smoked a couple turkey breasts myself, and then we deep fried the other one. The two turkey breasts that I smoked, we did one with traditional seasonings that you would have in a regular oven-based turkey, stuff like that. And then the other one, I actually made. I took a little bit of bourbon, mixed it with dark brown sugar and some other like dry rub seasoning, mixed it all together and poured over the top of it. Both bird breasts, I threw a half a stick of butter underneath each one of them and let it just kind of base itself in its juices, and did that in the smoker. So they both got smoked. They just had different flavors to them. And I thought for sure I screwed up, and I put it in at the temperature that the the guide that I had said to set the temperature at. And it should have taken reality for the size of those turkey breasts about 4.5 hours. I put it in at 8 in the morning, and about 10:30 it goes, "Hey, we're much higher than the 165-degree temperature. We're about 175." So I grabbed my phone, hit the remote function on my smoker, and dial that baby back to a nice warm temperature, and I did not ruin them. They came out extremely tender and very, very juicy. I refuse to use that other word because it drives me nuts. Too many bad memes. Too many bad memes. But but yeah, I actually had a really good time with that, and I'm hoping my family enjoyed it. But yeah, I had my family over, and made a day out of it. Got to spend time with them, and then the two younger varmints went with my mom and dad, and the oldest one had spent some time with her mother and their family. So that was kind of a cool night. It was just me and the wife, and hanging out, doing a whole lot of nothing. She's like, "I want to go to the store." I'm like, "What?" I said, "It's Thanksgiving. You know how I feel about this." Which I'm going to get on a tangent about that. I am against shopping on Thanksgiving, like most people are. But those of you that do shop on Thanksgiving, no offense. It's just this is my personal preference. I broke down and I went, but I waited till after dinner time. So after 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. That way I knew that anybody that had to work that day, or everybody that had to work that had to come back in later, it wasn't a big deal. And I didn't want to infringe on their time with their families, which I know if they're there working, I'm not really infringing on their time. But out of respect, I waited until after actual dinner. So is late dinner is 6, 7 o'clock. So I thought, well, I can go out after that. I'm good. I won't feel bad. I mean, usually I'm used to Black Friday shopping, going out at 10:30, 11, getting to where we need to be. And then at midnight, which is Black Friday, everything hits and it's supposed to run as usual. I worked retail for a number of years in my young life, and I enjoyed the day after Thanksgiving because it was insane watching people fall into a store. And when I say fall in, I literally mean fall in. Um, so I remember seeing that and the excitement and the absolute insanity that's involved with it, except for I was on the inside of the store, not the outside of the store. But since I refuse to work retail anymore, that's not going to be a thing anymore. I won't be standing on the inside. I'll be, unfortunately, on the outside with the rest of the crazy that goes on that's out there. But for the most part, spent some time with the wife, and then again, woke up Friday morning, did a little bit more shopping, did a couple spots, went to breakfast with the wife, and just kind of had a good time with her. It was nice.
Nice. Glad you're able to enjoy that.
Oh yeah. So anything exciting, whatever going on as far as Thanksgiving for you besides smoking a couple turkey? Yeah, I mean that was Thanksgiving for me. It was nice. I had 4 days off of work, which was needed.
Very nice.
Yeah, I had.
In my line of work, I get to set my schedule, so pretty much I can take those days as needed. But if the client needs me, then that gets to override me a little bit. But
it's good being the boss.
Yeah, try to keep control over what my schedule looks like and how much time I have to spend on things that I don't want to. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the thing. There's a work-life balance, and if you don't have that, and most people, I'm sure, are probably sitting on the other end just going, "Work-life balance? What are you talking about?" Believe you me, I have been there. I have done that, and I found a way to make that happen. A lot of it was just changing the job that I had. I used to drive for a construction company, and it required me to drive at midnight hours, when hardly anybody was on the road, which that was a beautiful thing. Let me tell you. The only downside is, I really didn't have much of a work-life balance. My week would start on Sunday. I would wake up Sunday morning, spend time with my family. 4 o'clock, I was in bed. Woke back up at 11 o'clock that night to be in at midnight Monday morning, and then drive from midnight till sometimes 9 a.m., other times 1 p.m. Come back home, eat dinner, get cleaned up, maybe see my kids for a little bit, and I'd either have to go to bed at 4 p.m. or 6 p.m., and then I'm right back at it again. So there really wasn't much of a work-life balance. I only truly had 1 day off a week, and then you had the 8 hours on Sunday, and then however many hours that I would try to stay awake as possible on a Friday to spend time with my family. So, and unfortunately, the paycheck didn't balance that out, so I really kind of felt like I had nothing to show for it. So now work-life balance is everything. I can go to work for 40 to 45 hours a week. I get paid for the extra 5 hours that I work. I'm not on salary. And then I got Saturday, Sundays off, which is a beautiful thing. Kind of the old American dream, if you will.
Nice.
But
it's really... What's that?
But there are companies testing out a 4-day work week, 8 hours, and I mean you get paid full-time money as far as that goes, but you work 32 hours a week. In reality, if you think about it, the productivity would go through the roof. Absolutely go through the roof, because they're working less hours, and in essence, if you look at how much they get paid hourly based on a 40-hour week, and then you're like, all right, well, we're going to cut your hours back to 32 hours a week. You're only going to work 4 days a week, but we're going to bump your pay up to help match per hour what you would have got based on a 40-hour week. So
Right.
you're not only, I mean, yeah, you have the perception of more money per hour, which is very true. You are making more money per hour. You're working less hours. So you're, in essence, you are making a little bit more money. But when you look at numbers and numbers, it's the exact same amount of money. But you're just working less hours. You got a happier home life. You've got, a happier boss, because if you're happy, you're going to come in and do great work. You're going to get, you're feeling like you're getting paid properly to do the amount of work that you're doing. It's just a nice balance all the way around.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely some merit to that, especially since the work week has been pumped down to 30 hours a week. So there's no reason to not start looking at how you utilize people. And by and large, if you pay people properly, they will produce for you. If you pay them poorly, they will not. At least that's my experience.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I've been the kind of person that I would go out and I would just absolutely kill myself just to prove my worth. And at the end of the day, I still got paid average money, but I was doing extraordinary work. And as far as putting hours in and volunteering and being a team player and just everything. And at the end of the year, when that review would come up, I was rated as average. It's like, huh. It finally dawned on me after a few years that it's not worth killing yourself over, because when you look at it all, the day that you die, if you die on the job, your job's posted the next day before your obituary is even hitting the newspaper.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's a sad way to look at it, because old school, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 60 years ago, you hear stories of how your mom, your dad, your grandparents, they'd go to work, they'd work hard, and they got rewarded for it. They got rewarded for hard work. And now these companies will just look at the hard work and go, oh, well, if you're going to do that, then, and you do it on a consistent basis, that's your new average. The amount of work you do is your average. So I'm only going to pay you average money. Well, that's not fair.
Right.
So unfortunately, the companies have lost track of what's truly important, as far as the people go. But anyways, that's on a whole nother level there. So yeah, when it all boils down to it, work-life balance is everything.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and kick into the fun stuff.
All right. First segment, Scopely Says.
So what is it that Scopely is saying today?
Well, let's see here. We have the Battle for Glory event. Let's read off what they have in the announcements. Except for I don't have it in front of me. There we go. Compete on a leaderboard against other alliances and unleash the fury upon the hostiles throughout the cosmos. Gold Alliance trophies found in the Battle for Glory event to score points and rank higher in the leaderboard. Edit their Scopely higher. Yeah, that's the wrong higher. Prove your dominance and be the most powerful alliance in the cosmos. From December 2nd to 6th, these events will feature the following limited time rewards: Alliance credits, Ultra Officer tokens, Premium Officer tokens, resources, materials. Then you have the solo event, the Alliance leaderboard event, and then dates, times, etc. are all subject to change based on which server you're on. So your server should have an event posted showing what's going on for you guys and how to compete.
Well, with that being said, I was going to talk a little bit about this with you here as far as where I've progressed so far today. I got home and it said there was like 4 hours and 30 some minutes left in today's event. Still got 2 hours and 23 minutes left, and I'm sitting at 1,734 points. So hopefully, after my ship's repair, I should be able to finish cleaning out the next 266 points, so I can top out the daily event.
Very nice.
Yes, and currently, our alliance is sitting at number 6 on our respective servers. So
okay,
we're killing it tonight.
I am actually in Bedapente killing 33s for my 20 points. So try to get those knocked out while we're talking here.
Nice. Yeah, I'm sitting there looking at what I got to kill, and it's like, 30 plus, and you'll get max 20 points. I'm like, this ought to be interesting because I just recently made it to level 26.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a blessing and a curse because Sunday with the hostile swarm event, I looked at what I needed to kill to make anything worthwhile. And my God, I'm going to spend more resources repairing my ships than what I'm going to get. It's terrible. So, since I just got to level 26, my R&D department has 1 day, 23 hours, and some change left on it till that's up to level 26, which I did start that earlier today. Thank you for the 15 helps that come out from the family. Y'all are wonderful. So now I gotta wait another 2 more days, in essence, to get that done, so that way I can add more power to my ships and kill things. So anything other than today's event? Oh, almost forgot. Haha. Everybody's been asking, when's the daily reward packs coming out? When they're coming out? Well, they're out today. They're right now, currently, there's 15 days and 2 hours left to purchase one of these bad boys. So please take advantage of that. And then we have the December Elite Daily Reward Pack. This is the one that everybody loves. Right off the jump, you get guaranteed 14K Latinum. You get your 300 daily elite chips. You get 18 refined ore, rare refined, 11 rare refined crystal, 11 rare refined gas. You get 323 uncommon refined ore, 214 uncommon refined crystal, and 214 uncommon refined gas. You get 1380 on your common refined ore, 890 on your refined crystal and refined gas, 35 million par steel. You get 200 100K par steel tokens, 31 mil par steel tokens. You get guaranteed 300K trip. You have 100K titanium tokens at 10. You get 100K dilithium with 10K tokens rated at 3 of those. You get 2 1-day speed ups, 15 8-hour speed ups, 42 3-hour speed ups, 60 1-hour speed ups, 120 15-minute speed ups, 5-minute speed ups, and 1-minute speed ups. Then on the Peace Shields, you get 2 3-day Peace Shields, 5 1-day Peace Shields, 5 8-hour Peace Shields, and 5 4-hour Peace Shields with 3 reload tokens and 1 15-minute Alliance gift. Speed up that goes to the Alliance. That's the $99 pack, which is an Elite Daily, and the Choice Reward pack, which is $49.99. You get 5,500 Latinum, 300 of the Choice Reward tokens. You get 2 rare ores, G3, 1 rare gas, 1 rare crystal, 126 uncommon ore, 62 62 uncommon refined crystal, 62 uncommon refined gas, 580 on the common refined ore, and then on your crystal and your gas, you get 330. Then you get some G2 stuff, which I don't know, depending on who you are and where you're at in the game, may or may not be useful to you. You get 500 of each of those on the uncommon G2. You get 3,000 of each one of the G2 refined. 10 million par steel guaranteed. 100K par steel tokens. 3 1 mil par steel tokens. 100K titanium guaranteed. You'll get 2 of the 100K titanium tokens, 35 dilithium, or 35K dilithium. Then on your speed ups goes in order from 8 hours down. 8, 15 for the 3, 31 hour, 60, 15, 65, 61 minute. Then you have your P shields. You get 1 3 day, 3 1 day, 5 8 hour, and 5 4 hour with 2 reload tokens and 1 10-minute alliance gift. So,
which pack is that?
That would be the December Choice Reward Pack.
Gotcha. Oh, that'll be good.
Awesome. So I think that's everything that Scopely says. So we're going into our next segment is the deep dive topic of the week.
One thing only.
So, kind sir, what are we doing as far as the topic of the week?
Well, that is a good question because I don't have any one thing specific. We've had a couple of interesting bugs since the 8.3 patch. So let's kind of take a look at some of that. I think the one that's impacted most people is the spinning nodes.
Yes.
When the game first premiered, this was a pretty common occurrence. You get to a system and you'd see that there was a node available. You'd go to click on it to mine, and you get this circle that just kept spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning.
Right.
And took 3 to 6 months for them to actually fix that. And with the 8.3 patch, that has returned. So what I'm seeing as far as tips and tricks to bypass it is going into and out of the system between 6 and 10 times is what I'm seeing on the Facebook page and in some of the Discords. Oftentimes, if you're looking at a system and somebody resets a node, that'll at least reset that particular node within the system, but it's really just kind of painful.
It's really painful sitting there going to go after a node and go, oh, well, is somebody there? Does the node even exist?
Right. So that's really been challenging as far as trying to find nodes. People have tried clearing localization. That does not seem to have a direct impact. But whatever you can do to get the client to sync with the server to show what's actually there will actually help make things happen for you. I did notice that a lot of times if there is no ship on a node, you can click around to those nodes and then find open ones. Just assume that all the ones that are spinning actually are occupied.
Yep. Sounds plausible because that's kind of one of the problems I ran into. I was in my home system in my own neighborhood there, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? The nodes are wide open, but it just keeps spinning, and then all of a sudden you go out, come back in, or you reset the game and then come back in. It's like, oh, somebody was sitting there.
Yeah, so that's really been the biggest challenge. The other is one that's currently being exploited. Let me find this announcement.
Are we talking about the miner bug?
Yep, the miner bug.
You know what? That one may be a good ride for the van.
Well, the question is, who rides the van for that one?
Yeah. Who's taking a ride in the van for that one? Is it going to be the players that are actually exploiting it and know that this is a thing, and they continue to do it even though they're not playing quite fairly? Because don't get me wrong, there are exploits everywhere in all games, but you know what? I think that's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and push the van ride, the ones that are exploiting the bug. we'll put them in the van and take them for a ride. So yeah, we'll hold on to that. So we're gonna put the bag over your head for now. We're gonna stuff you in the van, but we're not quite riding. So we'll go ahead and carry on with that here a little bit. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the miner bug and what it's doing as far as how it happens. If you want me, I can take on that one, or if you want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your notes. All right. So what it is with the miner bug, what's happening is players are going to be sitting on a node, mining away, and then when a battleship runs in, they go to warp out, and then they hit the stop warp button. Well, what that does is whenever you go to warp out of a system, you go to take off. You press the stop warp button, and before the countdown happens, it pulls you off of the node and then parks you underneath the node. We ran into this exploit a while back when the game first started, when people would just dive under a node. They wouldn't actually mine it, they just hide their ship underneath it so they didn't get hit. So ship would come in, oh, I see that you've got some goodies. So if you got some stuff in the tank, I'm going to go to try to take it. And then all of a sudden they move and hide under the node and you couldn't hit them. So it would look like the node is being occupied, but it really isn't being occupied, and you can't hit the ship that's underneath it. So that right there is kind of a PvP bug. We understand the bug's going to happen, and what they wanted to try to do is they wanted to try to keep people from two people sitting at the same time, or two players sitting at the same time and hit the node, and one hits it and the other one attacks it and knocks the other one off. Okay, that right there was kind of a rough way to go because, it'd start, some grievance and things would go back and forth. So Scopely's repair to that was, we'll set it, whoever lands on the node gets it, the next ship flies underneath it, and that's an acceptable thing to do. Unfortunately, that's the only way you're going to be able to fix that unless you say, oh, somebody's on it, you've warped to it, and then instead of putting you right underneath it, instead of putting you off to one side of the node, it actually puts you underneath it, which again keeps the ship from being hit and stops the PvP process. So with that being said, that's exactly what is happening here. Is somebody will be mining, they'll realize that they got a battleship or something coming at them, they'll go to warp out, they'll hit the stop warp, and then they'll just kind of float underneath the node so nobody can take the booty that's inside of the treasure chest. Well, right. You got folks out there that like to plunder and pirate. They're running around, they're looking for booty, and they're trying to get as much as they can. Well, you're kind of cheating the system. If you know that you're going to get hit, you tend to just warp out and go back and drop what you got off. Instead, you're warping and sitting underneath it. But again, we're going to put you in the van here in a little while. We're going to talk more about that.
Well, the other piece of this is people that are doing this and then hiding a warship underneath their miner. So kind of a modification of the sitting next to your node, quote unquote, protecting your miner, which again is absolutely useless unless you're actively monitoring the system that you're mining in. But these folks are doing that, hiding the warship underneath. As soon as they see their miner's been hit, then they spring out and then attack the aggressor. So I like it, but I don't.
Yeah, there's an advantage, but then again, it's kind of an unfair advantage because it does go back to the point of this is a PvP game. We are going to hit each other's ships. That's just what it's all about. But in order, if you're, it's one thing if it's a mistake. We get it. Mistakes happen. None of us walk on water. None of us are perfect. But if you're doing it to exploit it, you're wrong. Again, we're gonna take you for a ride in the van here in a little while with that one.
All right.
So, as far as deep dive, got anything else with that one, or can we just go ahead?
No, I really think that's it. I think the 8.3 patch has been covered pretty well by a lot of the other content creators. We got the warp stop, which is the result of this bug. We've got the stop in route, which dumps you off in the nearest system. Really cool feature.
Now, I did notice something about this the other day when I was testing it out. It went ahead and had me continue on past instead of dumping me off in a system. it actually dumped me off to where I was going. And then when I went to go back home, it was another 7-minute flight back versus. So we'll just. I don't remember which system that I went to, but I just found a system and decided to warp out there. And then I hit the stop warp to make sure it will stop, and I stopped. And then I hit it again, same system, to go out there. And then I let it get midway through the flight, and then I hit stop warp. And then all of a sudden, I've got an attack coming in, but yet my ship is flying back home, according to the warp calculator and the timer, as well as on the system map. So there's definitely some sort of something buggy going on where if I've actually stopped in the system, and the game doesn't realize that I've stopped in that system, but yet it says, "Oh yeah, you're still moving backwards." So something's buggy, something that can be looked into. I wish I would have kept the pictures that I had, because I had the pictures ready to go just to show that I had a battle going on while I was still moving, and my timer was still running, going, "Hey, you've got 5 minutes and 22 seconds till you get back to your base." So if for some reason I see that happen again, I will take those snapshots, and then we can post them out here for the next go around.
Yeah, that would be excellent. I've seen similar things. The couple times that I've been making use of it has been making my way to and from armadas, and it really kind of depends on the length of the warp that you're doing. I've noticed that if you've got some long legs in there, then it'll definitely cause some challenges where it drops you out. And then if you're already in the last system at the end of whatever the warp you were trying to do,
it's just going to carry you on to your destination.
Yeah, you can't stop. You're going to go.
Yeah, and things like that. We know things like that are going to happen. We get that. If there's 5 systems in between point A and point B, your point A to your destination, and there's 5 other systems in between. If you get to your 5th system, and go, "Oh crap, I didn't mean to do that," and then you hit your drop out of warp button. Well, guess what? You're still dropping out of warp. You're just going to drop out of warp at your destination where you wanted to go in the first place. So we get that. We know that's going to happen.
Right. It's kind of the nature of the beast.
Cool. Well, with that being said, we'll go ahead and segue into the van. So, all you exploiters out there, time to get in the van. Get in the van. So, we're going to take the bag off your head now. You're at the diving deep black site. You're strapped to the chair. Time to listen. And just remember, it's not waterboarding if you're using diesel. So with that being said, jokes out of the way, outside of all things, let's go ahead and talk about this. Those of you that are using this exploit, you really are doing yourself an injustice. You're doing the whole game an injustice. You're cheating. It does go against the terms of service as far as utilizing exploits. This is definitely an exploit. Yes, it may be a bug, but now it's turned into an exploit. This is what I have a problem with. I understand that none of us are perfect. None of us walk on water, like I said before. But if you're knowingly using an exploit, like, I don't know, the ship with the planet with the infinite bubble couldn't get attacked, there's a lot of you that know what I'm talking about. And a lot of you that listen to this that know exactly what I'm talking about, because there's a lot of you that did it. That's a problem. There's issues with that. You're not playing the game fairly, and you're definitely losing the integrity of the game. So do us a favor. If you're using this exploit, please stop. It's not fair. You're just cheating the system. And if anything, you're just sitting there parked, scared underneath the node because you don't want to come out of it. So all you're doing is you're wasting your time, you've lost your node, and somebody's going to park their ship on top of it, and now you can't get it back. So what's the point? Because I promise you, if I see you doing it in game, I'm parking something on top of there that you're not going to be able to knock off too easy. and I'll park it there until you leave, and then I will put my miner in place. Trust me, I got zero problem sitting there combat mining for a little bit until you move. And the minute that I see your ship move out from underneath that node, you're going to get popped. Me, that's just fair warning. You're using an exploit, you're completely going against the terms of service, and you're going against the integrity of the game. Right there, I got no mercy for you. So, with that being said, put the black bag back over your head, take you back, and drop you off where we picked you up at.
Incoming transmission.
On to sensor sweep. We haven't seen a lot of feedback yet with sensor sweep. I know it's still kind of a new thing, and not everybody's listened to it. But please feel free. Again, you can hit us up on any of our social medias. Hashtag sensor sweep with Shadi and Ramius, and then put anything that we've asked of y'all to give us feedback on, as far as like today's going to be a crew setup, so we want to know. We want to know what you guys think. We'll put things out for y'all and have you respond back. If you're on our server, hit us up in game. You know who we are. Shadi, Admiral Ramius, not hard to find out on server 22. But if you do have other questions and you're not necessarily on our server, you can hit us up on our Facebook page. You can hit us up on our Twitter page, our Instagram page. We're always monitoring, always available. But yeah, throw what's out there. So this week's sensor sweep the question is, what is your best crew setups? And you can even break it down to per ship. So if you have, obviously we get the miners. If you're mining ore, you use a proper captain for ore, gas, you name it. We get that. We want to know when it comes to your battleships. I want to know with your Kumari, with your Voklis, with your Mayflower, with your Sally, your Enterprise, the Helifish. I want to know whatever you guys use with the ship that you use, who your crew is. And you can hit us up at hashtag sensor sweep with Shadi and Ramius. But please make sure you throw those out there. We want to know. So with that being said, again, like I said, we didn't get any replies back from anybody on last week's on the last episode of Sensor Sweep. But we will definitely check and make sure that we're not missing anything as far as that goes.
We actually did get one.
Oh, we did.
We did.
Well, please share that, because I don't want to make me look like a liar. Yeah, share it.
Stand by one. Let me get to the proper page, because we did have a new subscriber who commented.
Nice. Hello, new subscriber. Thank you for joining the madness. Our podcast.
Right.
No, seriously. Without you guys, this is just us sitting here playing a game, talking about things to ourselves instead of you, our fans. And by the way, the more fans you bring in, the bigger the crowd, the more we can do. And we're even working on setting up a Patreon page. That's going to be off-topic type stuff, not necessarily game related, but we are setting up a Patreon page. We haven't quite figured out how much that we would charge for access to that, but it's going to be minuscule. It's going to be less than it's going to be less than what you spend on the game. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yes.
It'll be minuscule, but you're going to get to see the side of Shadi Arabius that you don't quite get to see here.
No.
You might get to witness a little bit of it in game, but you're really not going to get to see who you're going to find out who we are. And don't get me wrong, what you hear and what you see from us here, this is us. But there is the more funnier side, the little bit more
off color. Yes,
that is. It's even a little blue at times. So no, it's going to be a lot blue at times. I'm just giving you a heads up now.
Yeah.
If you know me, you know exactly what's going to happen. You think the riding in the van here is bad? Oh, you wait, because with our Patreon page, it's gonna be riding in the van with Shotty and Ramius after dark. Bad things are going to happen. It's going to be some funny things. It's going to be some hilarious things. Going to be some stories, things that'll make your toes curl of what we've experienced in life. It's just going to be a really good time, and there might be a little bit of trash talking on there too. So that could be one of those things.
That could happen.
That could happen.
Just to give you a little tease, the Admiral is a retired paramedic. So, just understand, if it's happened, I've seen it, and I've probably got a story to tell about it. So,
and
we'll have some fun with that.
Yeah, and with that being said, Shotty being me, I worked in the service industry for many years, and when I say service industry, I mean going to people's houses. And let me tell you, some of the things that I've seen, some of the things that I've had happen to me, there's things that I wish I never saw. There's things that I'm thankful that I saw. And then there are things that happen that I'm thankful that I'm still alive. So, again, this is going to be something that we're going to start up here. We're going to get the details out once we finish hammering out some things and getting things up and running on that. But we are definitely going to set up a Patreon page so that way you can kind of hear everything off book, off color. It's going to be a rowdy time. It's going to be a whole lot of laughs. And the funny thing is, some of our guests have actually been able to experience what we're going to put on to the show as far as on the Patreon show. They've left out of there with their sides hurting. That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you anymore because then that'll just give away the fun. But yeah, there's going to be some fun to have. All right. Anyways, so with that being said, you said you had one
comments. Yeah, I actually have two comments. We have one from a username Alara Star. Wonderful episode. I especially like the Panty Raider comments. Love the ladies of server number 22 with a heart.
And with that being said, not to interrupt, but we are working on Ladies Night 2.0.
Yes,
that's coming soon. I'm not going to tell you who our guests are because I think they're special enough that we can kind of hold out on them. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think it'll be a whole lot of fun.
Now,
and one other comment here. That was awesome. One other comment here from username Lexa L. That was awesome to listen to. Thanks for making this with a kissy face. So those are both on the Ladies Night episode.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for the comments. Again, Censor Sweep, this is what we want to hear from you. We want to hear comments, questions. The Censor Sweep, we're going to throw the question out to you. We want your answers. And if there's something that you'd like to see on the show or what have you, let us know. Again, we have all of our contact information as far as how to get a hold of us. And we are looking for sponsors. So if you like what you hear and you know somebody that would like to sponsor this podcast, please feel free to shoot me an email at runningdeepshotty@gmail.com. We would love to expand. The more that we can expand, the better the product that we can bring you. Again, that's why we're doing the Patreon page. We want to kind of expand a little bit. So any type of sponsorship that we can get will help us grow and help us bring you better content. You might even one day be able to see what we actually look like. There's a possibility. We haven't quite made it to the decision to do that. But yes, maybe. But the thing is, though, if you guys make something like this happen to the fact of we're like, yeah, we want to see what you look like, just remember, you asked for it. But yes, there is workings for possible future update as far as being just what you see on the YouTube page is gameplay and overlays and everything. There you might actually get to see our mugs. So maybe
possibly,
yeah, possibly, kind of, sure. We might figure something out. Or we'll just have a bunch of characters made of our mugs and figure out how to animate them.
Well, on iOS you can do that, where you make the Memoji thing and talks for you and gives you the crazy face. So.
You know what? Nah, I don't know. So we could do that, but I don't know. Apple may throw a wrench in the works on that one.
No, I don't think they will. Actually, they encourage it.
Oh well, we might have to do something like that. I might have some skull and crossbones thing going on. I don't know. We'll figure that out. All right. So,
all right.
With that being said, this is Running Deep with Shotty and Ramius. Thank you so much for allowing us to penetrate your ears. And if you sign up with the Patreon page, might be a little bit deeper penetration with some things. So, well, as far as stories go, get your mind out of the gutter. Anyways, with that being said, I'm Shotty. The guy on the other end is Ramius.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day, great week. We'll talk to you again soon.
And fly safe. Yeah, fly safe. And wait a minute, is that the sound of a warp drive spooling up? I think it is. Have a good day. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And we are out of here. Live long, kick ass.
Remember to follow us on our social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We can be found on iTunes, Podbean, Patreon, and here on YouTube. Comment below, click like if you do, and subscribe because you should have already. Do not forget to click the bell to get the alert when the next episode is available.